Hello, welcome to Catalyst. So the first thing that you'll want to do before you ever get to this page is enter your username and password given to you by the company. Um, they will also create a PIN number for you, which you'll enter, hit unlock, and that will bring you to this page that's labeled Student Selection. For HIPAA purposes, I'm not going to show you exactly how to add new students, but the process is simply going to manage students, searching your client by their first or last name and hitting add. Then you'll come back to this page and your client will be added to one of your students. So for the purpose of this demonstration, we'll just use example student. It will bring you to this page for our company's purposes. It's the main features that you'll be using on this page are all targets. You can also sync at the top. This will ensure that you are running current programs. You can also fetch trial data to look at trial data that was taken within the same day. So maybe if you're an afternoon therapist, you can fetch trial data from the morning to see what things were worked on. Before you ever start running trials, the most important things to know are some of your session settings. So you'll want to hit session settings. You will want to ensure that auto advance to next target is turned off. I promise you this will save you a lot of time and trouble. It'll just keep Catalyst from auto advancing to a random target every single time you take a data point. It's just really easy to get mixed up and lost. So go ahead and turn that off. Make sure it's gray. Go back, hit programs to run. So for programs to run, you'll want to double check that this is on every single time. Just make sure that all at the top is blue or checked. Again, this just makes sure, it just ensures that you are running programs that are up to date. So go ahead and go back, hit all targets. Now you are in the target section of Catalyst. So this is where you'll be 98% of the time. So in order to see exactly which targets you can run, you'll hit target list up at the top left. And so these are all of the targets that are available to you throughout a session. So the black bolded labels, that is the goal. And underneath it in the light gray are the targets. So at the very top, for example, the goal is an echoic goal, repeat simple and reduplicated syllables. And the targets underneath are ba and bi. So we'll go ahead and click on ba. So as you'll notice at the very top, it gives you the SD. It's in quotation marks. If it's spoken, ideally, it'll be in quotation marks. If it's not, it won't be. Underneath it says target. This is just the expected or correct behavior or response from the client. And then underneath it is the program or the goal, also listed in the target list. So for your purposes, the most important thing that you'll need to know are A, the SD and the target, and B, the teaching instructions. So where it says teaching instructions, just go ahead and click anywhere in that box. And it will pull up the full set of teaching instructions for you. So this is a new feature of Catalyst. Well, the teaching instructions have always been there, but it's new that they are actually readable, which is great, and we're very excited about it. Okay, so for recording data, for recording trial data, this is going to be at the bottom with all the different letters. So in training, we'll go over exactly what each of these acronyms stands for, which level of prompting it relates to. But just for now, know that anytime you click a box, it's going to be a data point. So if I hit I, that's going to take that data point, and then it'll stay on this exact same page. I promise it's not going into the void, although it seems like it. BCBAs will be looking at all of these data points, so just keep that in mind. But every time you hit a box, that is a data point. So it's as simple as that. When you are taking data that is non-trial data, so maybe you're tracking certain behaviors, so you can do that one of two ways. For frequency behavior, you will see these little boxes down at the bottom. Here they're purple and blue. So you are just hitting these boxes if one of these behaviors occurs. It's at the bottom just for ease of use, but that's not the only way it can be accessed. So maybe I hit 3 instances of aggression, but I only meant to hit 2. Don't stress, you can remove it. So you'll go here to behaviors. It automatically pulls up an ABC data form that you can fill out. And if a BCBA prefers that you take a full ABC data form, they will let you know. But if we want to correct our accidental frequency number, we can just go over here to the top, hit minus. We can add more over here. We can take away, whatever needs to be done. So while we're here in behaviors, you can also look at the bottom for duration. This example student does not have any duration data, but if they did, it would show up in the form of a stopwatch. So all you'll do is start a timer when the behavior begins, and then you'll stop the behavior or stop the timer when the behavior ends. So every single we'll go back over to frequency. So every single behavior should have an operational definition associated with it. If it does not, please speak to a supervisor. But you can read that operational definition by simply clicking on where it kind of starts. So here's the operational definition. It should let you know the onset or when you should start your timer and the offset when you should stop your timer. So we also have rate data. That will be over here in the far right at the bottom. Again, our client does not have any rate data for our example student, but if they did, it would be located here. So we are back at our targets. Another thing to know is if you accidentally hit a target or collect a data point that was incorrect, so maybe I accidentally marked independent when it was actually supposed to be an incorrect, I can go over here to the very top right where that little circle arrow is located. That is our undo button. So that independent was actually not, it was supposed to be an incorrect. So I'll keep my X up at the top and then I'll go down one more and delete that incorrect independent. So if you ever accidentally collect data incorrectly, maybe just not paying attention or you didn't realize maybe you were running it incorrectly, you can go to the back arrow and delete data points as necessary. So one more thing before we go. Up at the top, you can scroll from left to right. When you are at the end of your session, you'll need to submit your session note. So go ahead and hit notes up at the top. You can also access other session notes that have been written by other therapists for your client. This can be really helpful when you're first getting to know a client, or maybe you're wanting to know exactly how your morning session went if you didn't get a lot of time to talk to the morning therapist. So when you're here, you'll go to the bottom, you'll create note, you'll enter the title. So typically for us, we only write whether we were the morning or the afternoon therapist. Today's date and your name are going to be published for you, so there's no need to add that. So I'll put that I was with the client in the morning. I will write the session note here, and we'll go over in training exactly what your session note should and should not include, but this is where you will submit it. So let I'll just write session note. Once you are done, you'll scroll down to the bottom, hit publish. Voila, your session note is published. Okay, thank you for attending. Thank you for bearing with me. If you have any other additional questions on Catalyst, please let your trainer know or your supervisor. We will be covering this more in depth in training, but again, questions are always welcome. So please ask your trainer or your supervisor if there's something you're needing extra help with.